there? This is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie Orange. We have a new king in the AL, and it's the Rangers. He just beat the Astros in 7. Oh my God, it was a good game, man. Did you see the whole game, Ernie?
Yes. Wow. What an amazing game today. What a day to fill the baseball since 2 p.m. with us here in the West Coast. But man, this Rangers Astros, what a series, Carlos. It was two teams that were not letting each other be, they were going at it every day, man. Either it was Adolis Garcia or it was Jordan Alvarez responding or Jose Altuve, Corey Seager, you name it. They had stars and they were all ready to play, man. So it was an exciting series. Now the Rangers are heading to the World Series. And hopefully they could get their first one, man. I know back in 2010, 2011, they missed out on two of them right there. So yeah, I know them Ranger fans, they're waiting for their first World Series.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what's funny? We were talking about the other shows, how there's been, I don't think we can name anybody that's been to the World Series. Now we can. Bruce Bochy went with the Padres, went with the Giants, and now with the Rangers. So if you have that trivia baseball question, how many coaches do you know or managers that's gone to the World Series? Bruce Bochy, it's out there for sure. So I just wanted to bring that one up because I know it's one of the questions we had, and we were kind of like, who is the only manager that's gone to the World Series 3 times? If he wins it, I think he's gonna be another first. So that's another thing, dude. Like I think he's one of the first coaches to like that I know of, because I do you know another coach?
No, man. This is the first manager that would take 3 teams to the World Series. And looking into it, man, this guy is a smart man. The way he manages the game, Carlos, the fact that he was able to throw Jordan Montgomery in the middle of the game, it kind of threw me by surprise. And, Max Scherzer doesn't have the same stuff he once did. But, hey, man, to put your number 1 starter, Jordan Montgomery, in the middle of the game and to, secure the win, that was really crucial to stop the Astros offense.
That's really true. That's really
any
true.
moment the Astros offense could have came to life and it would have been all over.
Dude, it's crazy. When I saw him in there, I was wondering, why do you bring in Montgomery? But then I'm like, no, you did a right move. You were expected one of your starters to come after Scherzer. Remember, Scherzer was going to be on a short leash. And I felt like after they hit that home run, which was Alex Bregman hit that home run, I'm like, I think they should take him out already. And then he just took care of one more batter, and then boom, Bruce Bochy came and got him out, which is really, really good, dude. Which is that's why he's in the in the top being a manager. Go ahead, Ernie, take this one.
So we got a law office with Salvador Sanchez. Do you think this year's World Series is going to be bad for ratings, considering that it's going to be teams from small markets? You know what, Salvador, I think this is a little different in this case, because even though it's small market teams, I do believe most of America did not want the Houston Astros in the World Series again. And I think everybody was excited for Texas Rangers. At the end of the day, Texas Rangers is still a big state. And, everything is bigger in Texas. And as you can see, fans were rooting for Houston in Texas. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do root for Texas Rangers as well. Now, the Phillies also bring a huge market. And it's another team that a lot of fan base, they travel well. So if there's the Phillies and Rangers, I think it would definitely be good for ratings and good for baseball.
You know what? The Phillies travel well, too. They're not a low market team. Now, if you're talking about the D-backs, if the D-backs were to win tomorrow, because they are going to Game 7, and we'll get into those highlights in a little bit, but the Rangers are going back to the World Series knowing that the chance for them to win and get their first World Series is dope. Lalo saying Rangers, baby. Come on, man. I don't know if you're a Rangers fan. Are you a Rangers fan for real? Put it on here. But, it's crazy that they're going after that first World Series title, and they have the right people to do it. I remember when I first said that the Rangers going into the playoffs and they weren't that hot. I guess they showed me wrong. They proved me to be wrong, and they've been playing good baseball. The Astros didn't play good baseball at home, which showed today. And the Rangers, it's all history, man. It's crazy. I believe that if the Rangers, they're going to get a little bit more rest, right? I believe if they face whoever they face is going to be a tough matchup, and I just feel like the D-backs have something good going, because they're going to Philadelphia. They won in Philadelphia, which is something difficult to do with those fans out there. So, we'll see what happens there.
Carlos, but what an interesting series, right? Both teams did not win a single game at home in the
That's true.
Which it's unheard of, right? It's something that we would never see. And then we get to the point where, we have players like the tensions for Houston and Texas, Adolis Garcia going at Martin Maldonado, like, you actually hurt me. And we had the whole discussion, was it in purpose or not? Then they gave Abreu the pitcher 2-game suspension. And after his appeal, now he's able to pitch. And now he goes ahead and gives up some home runs in the Game 7 World Series. I'm sorry, the Game 7 of the ALCS, and affects his team. So was he better off being suspended? Now that's the question.
Well, they was already up by a lot of runs, man. Like they were already hitting hard. I think the thing is, a lot of people thought, oh, Adolis Garcia's home run woke a giant up, which was the Astros, by hitting that home run off of Verlander, throwing the bat on the ground, taking forever to round the bases, and then he comes up to bat again, and after that home run, and then they hit him, and it was like, I don't know, wasn't intentional or wasn't, so that's the question. If you're up 4-2, meaning the Rangers, and you're getting hit, you're going to think like, yeah, it's intentional. If you're down 2 runs, that's where you start thinking, am I going to put the tying run on, or am I going to put the potential run, for you guys to score more runs? I don't think I'll be able to do that. But you got to look at the situation. I believe the umpires did really well on doing what they need to do. They suspended. I mean, no, they kicked out the manager and they kicked out Abreu, which was good. And then Adolis Garcia got kicked out as well for starting, the beef, I guess. But put yourself in his shoes. A lot of people were talking on social media and saying, oh, like he was a baby. He was crying about it. Like,
Right.
if you were to hit a bomb like that, and then the next at bat, they come and hit you, wouldn't you be pissed off? Right?
Yes,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
And for me, I think it was intentional. I know Dusty Baker may have not gave the call to do that, but I know in the Astros and Abreu, I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Now, and that's where Garcia's getting upset, because I think he doesn't want to get hurt, right? Obviously, he's on a tear now. Look at these past 2 games. That guy got mad, and he's been putting some bombs out in the stands. So if had that hit by pitch hurt him or it caused an injury, that would have been big. And I think everybody would have been upset at the Astros. And we would have been like, man, here we go. The cheaters going at it again, right? So
Yeah.
that's why, Adolis Garcia took it personal. And I think these past 2 games, he proved why he should be the ALCS MVP and why he is the best player of the Rangers right now. He's unstoppable and he's on a tear, man. And I'm happy for the Rangers because I know they really want it. And you could tell how hungry they are. They got the right manager, the right set of players with the right pitching, man. Nathan Eovaldi is just a gamer. Jordan Montgomery has a lot to prove. And then you got a veteran like Scherzer that could go 2-3 innings if he has to. And, you got to roll this Chapman, which is kind of debatable. But, hey, man, the guy still throws some heat out there. And, I'm not sure if he did an intentional hit on the Astros, Chase McCormick, in the last 8th inning. But he threw a missile down there and hit his hamstring.
You know what? I think, to be honest, I think he just it slipped out of his hand. I didn't think he meant to go after him, but it is what it is. Houston lost, America wins. It sounds like it, right? It sounds like that's what it is, and trash throws. So I'm trying to get this information for you, Lalo. I know you're saying who has home field advantage. If the Rangers face the D-backs, the Rangers have home field advantage. If they face the Philadelphia Phillies, I believe this is where they're going to look at records, and the records are similar. I believe the Rangers are up on that. So both of them, they have a home field advantage on this one. Because remember, the last 3 teams that are left, they are a wild card seed. They're not division winners, so they got to go by wins and losses, right? Did the Phillies have more?
The funny thing is that the Rangers and Phillies both had the same record, Carlos. 90 wins, 72 losses. So now how does that determine home field advantage if the 2 teams were to play?
So I think the way they're going to do it is if they faced off, and I'm pretty sure they faced off this year, because that's how they did it for the wild card, right? So they're going to have to face off with what they did in the face off. So if the Rangers won that series, they take home field advantage. If the Phillies won that series, they take home field advantage. But we'll get more into that because I don't have that information, and that's a real good question, to be honest. I will go ahead and look for it, and I'll put it on here. But that's the way it's going to go, like, for sure. So there's a lot of trash. Houston trash can bottom up after 8-minute bags. Didn't work anymore. Yeah. You know what? It was funny because we were watching the game. What was it? The last game when they were in Texas, and there were a lot of whistling. And I even sent you a video, Ernie. I don't know if I was reaching, but every time they were throwing a fastball, they were whistling, and I'm like, how can they know what pitch is coming? And I got through like three little videos, and all of them had someone whistling, and it was a fastball, and it just happened to be a home run. And I mean, like I said, I don't know if I was reaching. We were trying to see if I can hear it here in Houston. I didn't hear anything. I even like slowed down the video to see if I can listen to a whistle and stuff like that. I didn't hear anything. So it's hard. It's hard to sign still now because you're not putting the fingers down. Now you're using the pitch tech or whatever it's called now, right?
PitchCom.
There you go. So it's a little difficult to do that, but I think I was reaching. I was reaching on that
Yeah,
one.
I mean, you gotta find ways, man. If you can't find the trash can, you gotta go with a whistle these days. You gotta find somebody that can
Exactly.
whistle really loud and could get to the batter's box.
Right? Yeah, you got to do something so you can go ahead and hit the ball, man. But you know what? Did kudos to Altuve, man. That man is over there hitting bomb after bomb after bomb, and he's only 5'6". And I mean, come on. He's the only Astro remaining that everybody hates on. He's public enemy number one. You have Alex Bregman there too, but he stayed quiet throughout the whole process. Altuve was the one that everybody was talking crap about. Carlos Correa came out and defended him, and up to now, he's still getting that trash name, and it sucks for him. But you can just tell that this man is on it, man. He's been on it, and it sucks for the Astros. The Rangers are moving on, but I wanted to talk about something else before we move on, though. I just wanted to see that show this video because after Adolis Garcia hit the home run where he took his time to round the bases and then he got hit, the next day or the next 2 days, he hit this home run and he just, now he didn't celebrate. But look at this point right here. He looks like he kind of wants to do it, but I'm like, I'm just going to run it. Forget it. I'm not going to, try to do anything different now because I don't want to get hit. It hurts. So I just I don't know. Does it suck that you have to change your approach and celebrating when you hit a home run? Because it's the hardest thing to do. You've heard Deion Sanders say, hey, this is the hardest sport anybody can play. So that's why I played it because I wanted the challenge. Does it suck though? It kind of does, right?
Exactly. So now you have Adolis Garcia in his mind having to celebrate differently because now his image and perception of people are going to be thought differently just because of the last incident. And it's kind of unfortunate. A lot of people, a lot of old timers will tell you that what Adolis Garcia was really bad. And that's not the way the game should be played. But obviously we're in a new generation and people love the celebration and people love the bat flip. And I think people just got to adapt and understand that this is the way the game is going forward. And it's better for the game of baseball. So, Altuve doesn't really celebrate like that. I know he's a little kind of quiet, and he's also, wants to celebrate in the past. But now I feel like now that he had caught cheating in the past, he's changed his approach. So
yeah,
obviously. So it just depends, man. Bryce Harper was another guy like that, and he's changed his approach as well. So I think you just mature over time, and you just do it differently.
Dude, you have these old heads though. You have the old heads that are saying like, "Oh, why is he celebrating like that?" It's good, you had one of the old pitchers, and we posted up on our social media. Stewart, he came out saying if that man hit a home run and he celebrated like that, for sure he's putting one between the numbers. So that old school mentality of not celebrating a home run is kind of like old already, and it's vintage, dude. It's kind of like where if you don't see it, you're kind of like, well, why is he not celebrating that? So you do have those players that are respectful to the game. Doesn't mean if you're celebrating, you're not respectful. It's just you got one off of one of the top pitchers in the world. That's why it's called Major League Baseball, and that's why it's called the World Series, because you have a little bit of everywhere in the world playing in the United States. And this is what's crazy, that I feel like people, when they say, why is he celebrating so much, or why is people saying that that they shouldn't be celebrating, that kind of sucks. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But we do have a question here: predictions for the game tomorrow. Oh man, you know what? That's a good question, dude. And let's get into it. Ernie, you wanna go ahead and start that one?
Oh man! So predictions for tomorrow: we got the Diamondbacks heading to Philly for the second night in a row against the Phillies. Right? You got a rookie, Brandon Pfaadt, against Ranger Suarez. Who should we go for, Carlos? It's one of those series where, like, every time I've doubted the D-backs, they come back and win. Yeah. And today was the first time they had the lead and control the lead, right?
Yeah.
And their bullpen is very strong, and it's one of those bullpens that when they hold the lead, they could hold it. So
Yeah.
now, and from the previous games, they've been behind. Oh man! And every time I see the Diamondbacks, and I want to doubt them, these young guys, these young cats, man, I don't know what they have in them. They got that dog in them, and they compete out there. You got Gabby Moreno, Corbin Carroll, Cato Marte. They all have some pop. And today was a prime example of why they play small ball. They play defense, and they were stealing bases. And with that, being able to win Game 6 in Philly with that type of crowd, and after Merrill Kelly said, you know what, this stadium is nothing, and he proved himself today. He went out there and struck out Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, and he went to his manager and was like, "Don't take me out, man. I just took out the two best hitters in that team, and nothing can stop me." Yeah, he was up at 90 pitches, but man, I'm riding with the D-backs, man, and I don't know what the hell just happened to me and how I changed my mind. But that momentum is a game changer, dude, and momentum is a huge difference in the baseball games. And I don't know, man, when it comes playoff time, the Phillies bats just went cold. I don't know what the hell happened. The travel must have got into them. Yeah. What do you think, man?
To be honest, I feel like everything you just said makes a lot of sense to me. I just want to go ahead and add that the D-backs did score all those runs on the bullpen in Arizona. So who has a stronger bullpen? I feel like the D-backs do. They have a little bit of more momentum going in. They have that pedigree, that dog that they want to go ahead and beat them in Philadelphia. I'm not saying the Phillies are going to lay down and just take it like whatever, because the Phillies are going to be the Phillies, and they're really good, dude. They're a team that it's always like fighting, always hitting those home runs. They have from 1 to 9. That lineup is just so stacked. Fat pitched really good against the Dodgers. He pitched really good against the Phillies. So this is the second time around. We're gonna get to see if he's really a top pitcher, like he's been demonstrating. I think he is, man. I think he's one of those pitchers that's gonna come through and get it done. So yeah, man, my vote's for the D-backs.
No way.
And yeah. So you know me, dude. I never liked the Phillies, dude. I never liked the Phillies. And if I can get one here, that'll be dope, because I think all the predictions that I had, it didn't come through at all. None of them.
Right. Exactly.
So
after the first two games, the Phillies dominated the whole series. Everybody thought the Phillies had it in the bag, right? Everybody doubted the Diamondbacks. Even Diamondbacks fans doubted themselves because they didn't show up for Game 3. So that tells you that even D-Fac fans were like, we don't even have a chance. What they do, they came back and they won the next two games. Yeah. And they proved it. They won it with a walk-off, and then they proved it again. And this time around, you were like, there's no way they're going to win in Game 6 against Aaron Nola. And Aaron Nola had a couple mistakes, and they took advantage of it. They got some home runs, and then they never saw the lead go away from them. They were like, we're just going to continue to put pressure, and we're going to win this game. And it was kind of shocking to me because I thought the Philly bats were going to come back to life. Nick Castellanos had just been quiet the past 3 games, and it was a guy that was on a hot tear. Kyle Schwarber is obviously one of their hottest hitters, but Trey Turner's also not there. So, man, I don't know what's going on. That $300 million paycheck to Trey Turner now is looking kind of rough. I don't know, man. I don't know what to trust Ranger Suarez. It's a hit and miss with that guy. And Brandon Pfaadt, even though he's looked dominant here and there, he had some crazy stuff last time, and these guys were kind of full the whole game. And it's hard to adapt to some rookies sometimes because you have never seen them pitch. So, man, I don't know what you think, man.
Okay, look, so I'm going to answer this question. Arizona going to choke. You know what? They can't choke if they're not the number 1 team going into the playoffs. They went and they were the underdogs against the Dodgers, and they beat the Dodgers. They swept them, So, like, they did what they needed to do. They're here in Philly. Philly was supposed to sweep them, and it didn't happen. They're going to Game 7. And this is something that's going to be really special for these kids, because I'm saying kids because they're all like small in age, like in 20, 22, 23. They're all young. The only one that I see that's kind of old is Longoria. You have the other Tommy Pham. So I feel like Lally. I don't know. I just don't feel like the choke is not the right word for this team. Maybe they're not going to perform because the stage is going to be too high for them. And they're not going to be able to do it. But look what they did today. They did it in Game 6, and they performed well, and they quiet the crowd, and that's key for this.
Oh, they definitely did
big time, dude. They quiet them down, and I don't see these kids not performing. I think they're going to do well. It's going to be a good game tomorrow. It's going to be a really good game tomorrow. And I honestly think, to be honest, that they're going to go ahead and surprise a lot of people. I think the coaching staff on both sides are going to do what Bruce Bochy did today. I'm going to go ahead and get my game 5 starter, put them in. Everybody's available. And that's why it has to be. Because remember, if you guys don't remember when Bochy won it with the Giants, he had Bumgarner going a game. He was closing games, starting games, in between innings. It's like he had them available all the time. So this is what's going to happen tomorrow. And dude, this is, we pray for these type of games. We always want to see these type of games. We don't want to see that back and forward type of game, and we're going to get to see it tomorrow. And I hope it's going to be a special one because, going into the World Series, it just means that baseball season's almost coming to an end, and it's kind of like, oh man, what are we gonna have to watch? I mean, yeah, of course we like watching football, but baseball is what we enjoy. And once the World Series done, that's when the trades and free agents start happening, which is another topic. But it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be super exciting. Go ahead.
You got a point, Carlos. You got
Yeah.
a point, man. Today was the last day we had 2 games of baseball on the same day. And now with the D-backs winning today, we're on for a treat. 2 game 7s in the championship series. We hardly get game 7s like that, Carlos. It's usually one team being so much dominant than the other. And you got teams fighting for their lives out there. D-backs are a prime example. The Rangers were down 3-2. And this Friday night, I clearly thought like maybe the Rangers don't got what it takes to win. Maybe the Astros are just that dominant, who they really are. A team that's been to a pennant 4 out of the 6 years. Yeah, and look at the Rangers. They fought back and their offense came back to life. And the D-backs are doing exactly the same thing. Corbin Carroll does the small things, man. Gets the walks, get the base hits. Ketel Marte, they move the runners over. And then Evan Longoria, just prime example, a veteran, just getting the double when they much needed. Tommy Pham hitting a home run. Like, wait, you didn't expect these from these guys. These are guys that we should be talking about closer to their retirement. And they're still fighting. And they're still over here playing like great players. Like, what? So, at the end of the day, if the D-backs don't win tomorrow, it's still a win for this team. It's a great future for them. It's a team that won 84 games this season, right? A team that we didn't expect to make it this far. They went through the Brewers, the Dodgers, and now they're fighting with the strong Phillies, a Philly team that it's considered one of the dominant teams out there that took the powerful Braves. Yeah. And, we clearly thought the NL was going to be the champion this year, and now the D-backs are showcasing that, hey, we can compete with anybody you put us in front of. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true. And you know what's crazy? I did hear that Bumgarner called the D-backs and see if he can pitch game 7. And they were like, hell no, we don't want you back in here because it's one of those things where that's the reason we're here. We got rid of you. We went to first place, and then we held first place in the West for a long time. Then we struggle a little bit. That's where we needed your veteran presence. But we're like, nah, man, we can do it. We were the last ones on the wild card to make it to the playoffs.
You bring a good point.
They're still playing, dude. So
he started the season with the D-backs. Wow, that feels like such a long time ago.
It seems like it was last year, huh?
It really does, man. We even thought Madison Bumgarner get signed by another team, and nobody went for him. Everybody was like, he has nothing left in the tank.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what it is. But he did call the D-backs and said he was ready to go for game 7 if they need him. But I don't know. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Right,
all right,
man.
So we got the World Series. I guess we'll know the World Series team matchup tomorrow. We'll go ahead and post it here. We'll post it on our social media and all that stuff. There's other news that's going on. But before we go to the other news, I wanted to kind of shine light a little bit on some of the shows that I saw. Do you guys know who Ben Verlander is? Verlander's, Justin Verlander's brother. He has his own show, his podcast, and everything. He's been covering, all these games. And yesterday, dude, the energy that he had compared to the energy he had in Game 5, it was kind of weird. Where I was just like, this guy's supposed to be neutral. I understand his brother plays for the Astros, but he was so hyped after that Game 5, and he was just saying, "There's no way that this Adolis Garcia got hit intentionally. There's no way that they will do that." He was so sure of himself and just made so many comments to where I was just like, "Wait, dude, you need to be neutral. Why are you so Astros?" I'm like, and I understand, because if my brother was playing for the Astros, I would root for the same thing. But you kind of have to take it back a little bit and be like, "Hey, you gotta, be a little bit neutral." And when they lost yesterday, you should have seen his face. how sad he looked, dude. How
No
sad.
way.
It was super sad. And I like it. I haven't, I'm here right now, but I'm pretty sure if you're seeing the show right now, I'm pretty sure he's kind of bummed too. So it's like, it's kind of hard having your brother play in the major leagues and you're doing this, it's like, it kind of doesn't match. And I think that's what a lot of people are like, wait, why is he being like that? Doesn't he have to be neutral?
Do
Right?
you think he thinks the Astros is the end of an era now? That's a question you got to ask yourself.
Dan, that's a
Because
great question. That's a really
because
good question.
it's a team that was in the had the Astros won tonight, they would have been the third World Series in a row. And
Yeah.
I think America was over it. I think everybody was like, we need a new team besides the Astros, right?
Yeah.
And I asked myself, is it over? Is this era over? Because this is a team that's been in the mix for the past 7 seasons, right? And it's a team that's getting much older. Altuve is definitely getting older. Justin Verlander, his brother, is not getting any younger. And
No.
tonight's rotation all got put out there in tonight's game, and they all got rocked by the Rangers.
They all got
They
rocked.
threw JP France, they threw the young guy Hunter Brown, got rocked as well. And they throw Jose Urquidy, and Christian Javier did not have it today. And that's what happens when you see a team for the second time around. You start knowing what they throw, and it's like crazy. You see them twice in less than a week, and that's kind of something you don't see, right? It's
That's
a guy
a
that you
battle.
will see. You see him later in the season, but this time around, you see this guy twice, 2 days in a span of a week, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, Lalo's saying I think Miami will be in the new team. Will be in the mix soon. I'm pretty sure they are. They just fired. I forget Kim, and that was the person that set the first ever team by trades and doing different things for their minor league system, and they just got rid of her. So or she decided to leave, and
She
we'll
stepped
see what
down.
happens. Yeah, right. She stepped down. So I think the thing with the Marlins. I wouldn't believe that comment if she was still there, but we'll see what direction they decide to go. Because in Florida, there's not a lot of fan base. They don't have a lot of money out there, and they do need that money so they can go ahead and get these big time pitchers or big time hitters.
Right.
But they've won it without big time pitchers or big time hitters. They've done it before. They just came up from the farm system and they were ready to go and they won the World Series that way. But we'll see next year what happens. And we do have some more news on baseball other than the World Series and other than the playoffs and all this stuff. And you want to go into it, or you have other stuff you want to talk about with the Rangers and Phillies and stuff? Like we will have to wait to see who's going to face the Rangers next year. I mean, next series.
I guess the only question I would ask, like, who should the Rangers want to face? Do you want to face the Phillies or do you want to face the D-backs?
Right now,
I think the clear answer, everybody would say the D-backs, right? But it's still a team that would put a fight, and it's not going to go out easily.
Yeah.
Now,
do you want to see a World Series that's going to be battle back and forward, or do you want to see a win-win for the Rangers? And either way, I feel like we're going to get good baseball. The way that the series went all the way to Game 7, you're not going to get disappointed. And yeah, right.
Because this series was amazing, Carlos. I don't know what to tell you. Game 7 tomorrow is going to be amazing as well. We're witnessing great baseball. I just think this year has been special. Starting with the World Baseball Classic and now these championship series, and now we're heading to the World Series. Unexpected teams there, right? And teams that we know early back in March, we had no clue that they were this good, and they have potential to win. And that's the beauty of baseball, man, because anything is possible. Any team could win, and it just depends if you get hot at the right moment and everything starts clicking together. And for example, today the Phillies has a strong lineup, but their batters didn't click, and they were not getting no timely hitting. They had runners in scoring position, and the hits were just not coming through for them. And Merrill Kelly was looking like a star.
Yeah, he did. So I got a question for you, and this is before we go and talk about the Padres news and the other stuff, the Olympics and everything that's happening in baseball. Who would win the MVP if the Diamondbacks were to move on to the next series?
Ooh, I have to write with Ketel Marte.
Marte?
I think Corbin Carroll would be the more popular answer, but I think Ketel Marte has made an impact. It's a guy that has had 15 straight hits to start his postseason career. So he has a 15-game hitting streak in the postseason right now. He did hit the game winner, Game 5, and he's still making an impact. Today he hit a triple, and he brought in another run. So this guy doing the small things, and sometimes people don't see that and forget about that. And I think he's making a difference for this team.
Wow.
What about you?
You don't me. I think I will go pitching. Brandon Fat, and I believe it's not the whole series. It's not just this series. You're looking at other series as well. And this kid has been pitching lights out. Depending on the situation, on what happens tomorrow. If he goes 6 innings, six shutout innings, and he did what he needed to do, I think he's gonna win it. And Marte, dude, it's a great pick. I was seeing the game today. I feel like it was yesterday. I don't know why. But I feel like
we saw so much baseball in 6 hours, like
right?
so much going on, like tension everywhere. Like you can't miss a single at bat because there's something important happening. So man.
Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things where like, wait, who's going to be the MVP? I just want to go ahead and ask. And what about the Phillies, dude? Do you feel like the Phillies has someone in mind that you'll have them win the MVP?
Well, the clear front runner would be Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
I think just because they've been hitting a lot of home runs and obviously the more popular players. But like you said, it does definitely makes it all depends to tomorrow because this game may come down to the wire, and I hope it does because I feel like today we were close to a doozy, and then it just kind of the Rangers just took off and really get to see that great game that we really wanted. True. We were wanting to see two strong offensive teams.
Yeah. Chancellor, how's it going, man? We're live. If you want to have any questions, go ahead and do that. So who was supposed to win today? Good vibes. I feel like the Rangers were the better team. They did what they needed to do, and they performed the right way, and that's why they're going to the World Series. Now, with the Phillies and the D-backs, it looked like the Phillies were coming in or going home and trying to win that game. I just feel like I don't know if tomorrow it's going to be an easy, clear answer to who's going to win that game because D-backs have the momentum. Phillies have to kind of gather up after travel day and try to be like a little bit better. But hopefully we're in for a good game, man, because we want to make sure that when we go ahead and do these predictions, we're saying them right. Because if we're not, oh man, we're
I don't know, man. Lately, I feel like lately everybody's been wrong, and that's kind of crazy to think because most teams are just surprising everybody, and players are showing up that we did not expect. So that's crazy.
But that's the thing with baseball, though. When you play baseball or you're watching baseball, you kind of see the unexpected. You get to see players that are not hitting that well and then get a hit, and you're like, really, this guy struck out 3 times and he hit a home run to win the game at the end of in the 9th inning. Like that happens a lot, right? So that's the beauty about baseball. That's why a lot of people like the game, especially right now because it's a high intensity game in playoffs. You have the best teams playing it off right now, so that's the beauty, So we'll get to enjoy it tomorrow. We'll get to see another game. So it'll be
about that. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Adolis Garcia struck out for the first 4 at-bats yesterday, and they gets a deciding home run yesterday to win the game. That's kind of impressive, right?
It is impressive.
And it's like, it doesn't matter how you start the game. It's all about how you finish. So
yeah. You know what? And I'm going to go ahead and mention this. Adolis Garcia got traded from the Cardinals for cash considerations, meaning he just got let go pretty much. And here, you can have him. Just give me whatever money you want later on. And now he's the ALCS MVP. That's special. That's special. So
what team traded Adolis Garcia?
St. Louis Cardinals. So they let him go. So now the St. Louis Cardinals are looking at him playing in the playoffs, and they're like, "Wow, this man can play. He can rake." So they're hitting home runs. How many home runs he hit today? 3, right?
He had 2.
2? Okay.
But then he hit one yesterday.
He hit a bomb yesterday.
He's hit a home run in the 4 straight games.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. Chancey, how's it going, man? I didn't know that was you. I'm looking. I'm like, what? Chancellor? I didn't know who the name was. How's it going? Thanks for logging in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for asking a question. Lalo, man, you got any more questions? You have anything else you want to talk about before we talk about the Padres? Because the Padres look like they're going to lose their coach because they gave them permission to go interview for the Giants. And
he's leaving.
Dude, I mean, it's kind of like a slap in the face, if you ask me, because you have Bob Melvin, and he's a pretty good coach. He did it with the A's. He did Moneyball out there. and you go to the Padres, they give you a stacked lineup, they give you a stacked pitching staff, they give you everything that you need, but you don't get along with the GM, and that sucks. That really
Right.
sucks. So now the off season's on, and they come back and they tell you, hey, we're gonna give you permission to go interview for the Giants, and it's looking like in San Diego that everybody's already speculating that he's leaving. I know no one is really thinking about the Padres because they didn't make it to the playoffs, they didn't do anything, but it's baseball news, and that's what we're talking about it, right? But that's crazy, right? That's
You
crazy
know,
that's happening.
it really is, and especially with a division rival Giants, right? If you were a Padres owner, would you want him to go to your division rival? I don't think so,
No,
right? You're gonna have
no.
to face him over 10 times this next season, and he's gonna build a lineup to beat you. Obviously, he's gonna know everything about your team players, and he's gonna know what's their weaknesses and how to attack them. So, man, that's kind of unfortunate, but it was kind of obvious that Bob Melvin was gonna leave. It wasn't working out this season, right? I mean, this is the reason why they make the playoffs, and
Yeah.
they're going to break it all apart. And unfortunately, the Padres are going to have to start from scratch. They do have some star players still, and they're big contracts. And now the thing is, are you going to be stuck paying that huge contract that you can't play for the younger generation players coming up?
Yeah, so Soto gonna leave too. It sounds like he can't say that he wants to leave, or he can probably say I want to get traded. But with Soto, he's still under contract. If they go ahead and trade him, I feel like it's gonna happen with the Yankees, because the Yankees have some salary they need to dump. They're not gonna dump it all on the Padres, but they will help him with the contract. And maybe Stanton will be in on the Padre uniform next year. He is from San Diego, so it'll probably work out for the best for them, right? So we'll see what happens as the season finishes. But for right now, the Rangers are going to the World Series, and we're waiting for the D-backs and the Phillies, and that's exciting because we're going to get this experience and see a different team make it to the World Series. Finally, we always see the Astros, we've seen the Dodgers, we've seen the Braves, and it's cool because I am a Dodger fan. Why wouldn't I want my team to make it a little bit further into the playoffs? But it's always nice to see someone that's never won the World Series try to, win their first pennant. And I would like to see that because that's history, dude. That's always history, right? Like when
And
the Angels won it in 2002, that was history. Like I remember that when
yeah,
they won it against the Giants, and
it was
I
game
couldn't go.
7.
Yeah, I couldn't win. I couldn't go for the Giants. Like I was like, no, hell no. Why would I go for the Giants?
Yeah,
So
man, that's crazy. And to think about it, right? The Rangers went to the World Series back-to-back season back in 2010 and 2011. And if I'm not mistaken, the Rangers were like an inning away of winning that World Series in 2011. If it wasn't for David Freese, and
yeah,
I remember David Freese had a clutch hit in the 9th inning that tied the game. And then they went to the 11th inning, and David Freese got another big-time hit and won the game for the Cardinals. And that's how the series was won. So the Rangers were that close, guys. They went to extra innings and almost had it. And unfortunately, Cardinals took it. A much more experienced team like the Cardinals won it. And so we're hoping the Rangers win. I'm an Angels fan, and I got to see the Astros and Rangers today, both division rivals. But if you ask me what team I'd rather see, I think I would ask you the Rangers. And I think all of America also would say the same.
You know what? I think you're saying Seager World Series MVP. Hopefully Seager wakes up. I think they're not pitching that much to him. He's a huge presence in that lineup. Um, I want to see Seager, step up like he did when the Dodgers went to the World Series. Like I want to see him be the Seager that we're normally used to seeing. I don't know, man. I like Seager, dude. He was a good shortstop. I just feel like why did the Dodgers let him go? But that's another topic for another day. I can't be down on Seager because he's in the World Series. He's going to go to the World Series. He's going to get to experience that again in the full season now, right? Like I'll throw that
Right.
out there in the full season, but it is what it is. Dude, we do have more news on other sporting for baseball. The Olympics in 2028, I believe, it's going to
Well,
have baseball, and it's one of the questions I had about that one is, are they going to have Major League Baseball players join that Olympic team?
that's interesting. I'm not sure.
Right? Because it's going to happen during the summer and the season's going to happen, right?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think they're going to stop the season for the Olympics.
Nah, I don't think so. So that's why I think. So look, at the beginning of the season, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a lot of people in the news and social media saying that why are we having the World Classic, and the World Classic doesn't represent anything. And then you have all these countries and saying representing your country is one of the top things in baseball. Like we should be
Right.
happy. They even asked Julio, the guy from Julio Rodriguez from the Mariners, like, what would you rather do? Would you rather hit a home run in Game 7 of the World Series, or would you rather make the final play for Dominicana to win the World Classic? And he said, sorry, Seattle, I would do it for Dominicana. And that's just a pride that everybody has when they wear that shirt. Now, for the Olympics, if that was to happen, I don't think they'll stop baseball to go ahead and have
No,
major league players play the Olympics. That's why I don't. I mean, it's a big deal, but at the same time, is it a big deal? Because are you going to have professional baseball players do that? Are you going to be able to have them go and win the gold like basketball? Basketball, they can go ahead and play it, right?
because the season's
Because
not going on.
yeah, the season's not going on, so that's
So,
why they have all these players going to
well,
play out there.
we still have 4 years till that happens, but I'm pretty sure that the MLB is going to decide a way to send all the best top prospects of the minor league system and send them out there. Send
Yeah,
your top American players, send your best college prospects, because the Olympics takes place in August, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah,
then if they would be done by September, and then if those young prospects have to get called up, you could call them up by September, and they already been playing the top level baseball in the Olympics.
that's true. That's true. But I don't know, man. We'll wait. We'll see what happens with the news and as it develops. There's still 4 years, like you just said. So I just wanted to go ahead and mention it because you guys were texting about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I did see that. And then there's
So
one more. There's one more. Go ahead. Go
want me to
ahead.
tell
Go ahead.
you? Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got other news.
yeah,
There is a new baseball league forming in Dubai. And
yeah.
people in Dubai have a lot of money.
Yep.
So they actually just had their draft this weekend. And the baseball league is called Baseball United. And
Yep.
they drafted a lot of ex MLB players. And one of them is a 50-year-old Bartolo Colon. He was drafted. And we also have the big Pablo Sandoval.
Yep.
Players like that players you've heard, and they're going to be in this league. And I think they're going to get paid really big money to go play out there in Dubai. And I think it's going to grow. Watch. It's going to be a league there. They're going to sign major contracts, going to pay just as close as MLB contracts just to have these players perform in Dubai. And if I was these guys, why not? The game, they still love the game, and why not collect that paycheck?
Yeah, they're trying to make it the big league out there actually, because they already have like a soccer league. They have Ronaldo out there, right? They're trying to
Right.
grow their league. Now they're trying to see if they can grow the baseball, having these old players. Because when you mention Bartolo, it's big sexy, man. That guy is, you know, he knows how to play baseball anywhere. He's a Sunday leaguer, natural player. He was a he won a Cy Young with the Angels, I believe, right?
Right. Back in
Yeah,
2004.
yeah. So if he still has it, I wouldn't mind seeing him pitch, man. See how he throws, and I wouldn't mind seeing the game from Dubai. I did see another one that
Ooh.
how many teams is it though? How many teams is it going to be out there? Do you
They
know?
haven't mentioned. Oh, 4 teams so far. So they barely
14?
started with 4 teams. So there's
Okay.
breaking news, Carlos.
Yeah.
We have sad news for the Astros.
What's going on?
Fortunately, Dusty Baker will be stepping down
Oh,
from his
what?
managerial position. So looks like that's what I'm talking about. Where the Astros run isn't coming over. You're losing Dusty Baker. He's up in
Yeah,
age, man. He's coached for a very long time,
he
and
has.
and he's done a great job for the MLB. And he did an impressive job taking over the Astros after that cheating scandal. And there was nobody perfect better than Johnny B to take over that team. So
Yeah.
hey, man, what a
Yeah.
great run for Dusty Baker. At the end of the day, this guy will still manage to win his first World Series last season. And,
Yeah.
it looks like man, what the hell? I just got a notification. Yeah, it's done.
He's
Dusty
done.
Baker stepping down.
Dang. So the Astros are going to be in the hunt to look for a new manager. You know what? The stat that you posted on our social media, which was Bochy and Dusty Baker. You want to go ahead and say
Yeah,
what you posted?
so
Yeah, go
there
ahead.
was an incredible stat that I found out this morning. Bruce Bochy is undefeated on Game 7s, and Dusty Baker has never won a Game 7. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, shit, the Rangers are going to take it. And there was nothing else. Like, I'm sorry, but, Dusty Baker just been part of some unfortunate Game 7s and has lost them. It's not entirely his fault.
Yeah.
Obviously, these games come like that sometimes, man. no matter how hard you try, sometimes you fail, and that's how baseball works. Sometimes you fail so many times, but you
Yeah.
get right back up and you win when you get
And
the
that's
chance.
what happens. Yeah, that's what happens. And I mean, it's gonna suck because it's one of the old school mentalities that you still have in the game. And now he's probably like, he's retiring. He won't probably coach anymore. But we got to see him do what he does best, chewing that pick, and right
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
dugout. But yeah, he won his World Series with the Astros, and the way he took over those Astro teams after that cheating scandal, he took over and he did what he needed to do. He won that World Series. He's taken him to the ALCS. Well, what's it, 7 years or 5 years in a row? It's kind of like impressive, and he didn't do it himself, of course. There was another
right.
manager too, but like having to still take him there after taking over the cheating scandal season, you still managed to do a great job. And kudos to him and his retirement. He had a great career. As you guys don't know, he was a Dodger. He played for the Dodgers. So he is a Dodger legend. He is going to be recognized as a Dodger legend. He won a World
It's
Series with
crazy.
them, and he did win a World Series with the Astros. So he's going to be an Astros legend as well. So good luck to him, and he's going to enjoy his retirement. If he doesn't,
Hey,
there's
man,
always going to be a spot for him. Watch.
I came across a memorable video of Dusty Baker. I'm not sure if you guys remember the 2002 World Series against the Angels and Giants.
Yeah,
Dusty Baker's son, Darren Baker, was actually part. He was the actual bat boy for the Giants that season. There
yeah,
were some family issues going on, and Dusty Baker needed his family as close as possible. And the Giants let him, have his son as a bad boy. Well, during the World Series game, his son, the bad boy, he was like at least 4 or 5 years old, Carlos, and
yeah.
he runs to home plate to pick up a bat, but JT Snow was rounding third base and was about to collide with his son, and he picks him right up, and he picks him up before he hurts the little kid. And after that, the MLB decided the following season there will be no more kids allowed being as bad boys. There was like a certain age limit now,
Yeah,
and it was that one incident. So that was a pretty memorable moment. I just had forgotten, and watching it over, it made me realize, damn, Dusty Baker's been in the game for a long time.
that's true, man. And that's crazy. Like I remember that play like it just happened yesterday. I remember that play because I was watching the game and I'm like, damn, why is that little kid out there? And then JT Snow picked them up. And imagine there was a play at the plate while he's
Yeah,
running out to get that bat and helmet, or just a bat, right? That would have
right.
been crazy, dude. We have Ryan Reyes. What's up, man? How's it going? I hope you enjoyed baseball today. We're gonna get to see the Rangers go to the World Series, and we're gonna get to experience the Game 7 in the National League, which we were kind of counting that the Phillies were kind of take it away, and it hasn't happened that way. Javier Chavi, how's it going, man? How's everything out there, dude? We're doing the late show because we don't want to do the show during the game, because if we do it during the game, no one's going to show up. We had a good calling right now. We reached almost 11, 12 people, which is
Wow.
really good, and they had a lot of people. We had a lot of questions, and that was pretty fun, man.
I think it was just a lot of people excited that the Astros finally lost, and I think
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Javier would be a person that's exactly excited, just like everyone else right now.
Yeah. Javi, honestly, like how's the feeling out there in the East Coast with the Phillies? Is it good still? Is it good vibes, or how is it, man? Let us know. Let us know because I kind of want to know the vibes out there right now. Let's see. Watching Rangers versus highlights now. Yeah, man, it was a good game. I mean, it was a blowout. It was a blowout, but really, 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 really good game. And then let's see. They're worried. Of
They're
course, they
worried.
gotta win. They gotta
I
be.
mean, you got to think about it, right? They pride themselves. Philly fans pride themselves of being the loudest stadium in the MLB. Um, they think they pay part of the game, right? And tonight was a Merrill Kelly just went in there. He didn't care about the noise, and the D-backs also, the batters just went in there, got their hits off Aaron Nola. They're
Yeah,
supposedly ace, and he missed a couple spots, and the D-backs just took full advantage of it.
yeah. Adolis Garcia, man. Yeah, really. He's on it. He's on
He's
it.
special, man.
Yeah, he's
He has a cannon. He has a Cuban missile out there from right field, and that guy just has home runs, man.
yeah,
He 4 games in a row with a home run, and that's impressive, man. And the biggest moment against the Astros.
yeah,
A lot of players fear playing the Astros, and this guy stepped up right when the team needed him.
yeah, yeah. And you want to know what's crazy with that stat though? And when I saw when I saw Adolis Garcia hit that home run, and then he got hit the next pitch, and it went on. I was just thinking, like, why is everybody against him? Why is everybody just talking that he just woke up the Astros, And
Right.
no, dude, look at this guy. He just went off. He's like, no.
He got angry. He's
Yeah, he
mad.
got angry.
He's mad he didn't get to finish the last at bat in Game 5. That's what happened. He's
Right?
like, you
Yeah.
didn't give me a chance. I'm coming in to get you Game 6 and Game 7.
Yeah.
So
Remember, the fans don't play. They don't play out there, dude. Seriously, in Philadelphia, in any sport, I feel they're known for that. But we still get a bad rap out here in LA for some reason. But if you go to Philly in any sports, Ernie, you're a football fan as well. What can you say about their fan base, dude?
Well, if everybody that knows, Philly fans are rough. They're known as underdogs, right? You got the Rocky story, always being an underdog. You got the Eagles that never really won, Philadelphia Eagles. You talk about the Philadelphia Sixers, another organization that's just known always to struggle. The fan base there is rough. They'll tell you some mean words out there. They don't care. They're very vocal, and they'll let you know that they hate your team and they hate you for rooting against them.
They're brutal, right? They're brutal.
They really are, man. And so, things like that for the Diamondbacks to go up there in the East Coast and still fight, man, that was impressive. And I don't know, man. I know Ranger Suarez is going up there, Javi, but I don't know. Zach Wheeler's coming up. Yo, boy, Carlos, I know you've doubted him a couple times, and he's proving you wrong this series.
He's proving – everybody has proved me wrong, though. Everybody. Every team that I've chosen has lost. So I'm putting it out in the air. It's okay. It's okay to say, you know what? They lost. They're not that good. So, but I'm over here picking the Marlins. Come on, man. I picked the Marlins against the Phillies, and I think that I did that because it was more of like, all right, I like the Cinderella story, and I've said it all this playoff long shows. But it is what it is. I just want to. I'm just happy the Rangers are going to the World Series.
I have a quick question for you. As a Dodger fan, are you excited for the D-backs if they make it to the World Series? Will you be happy for them?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because it's not like they were kind of rude to the fan base or they were fighting against them and stuff like that. They weren't throwing everything at them. Yeah, when your team wins, of course you're going to say, "Hey, you know what? The Dodgers suck." You're going to throw a little trash here and there, right? But they're proving to play good baseball. That's what matters at the end of the day. And when a franchise and the team and the fans are doing what they need to do to support their team, they're doing it. They're not bringing up the Dodgers anymore. They're not doing that. They're focused on this series. They're trying to get to the World Series. If they win the World Series, I guarantee you they're not going to be like, "Oh, we beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers was our World Series." No, that was last year. The Padres did that. The Padres were like, "We beat the Dodgers. That was our World Series." Like, really?
Exactly.
Like, nah, dude. Like, get the hell out of here. So I'll be happy for the D-backs.
Yeah, and you're right. They changed their focus. They went down 0-2 against the Phillies, and they came back and won 2 straight at home. They did what they had to do. I know you can't win all of them on the road, but you got to make sure to take advantage of your home field. Yeah. Obviously, we didn't see that in the American League, but that's another story. I feel bad for fans out there. They pay to see their team win, and they unfortunately see them lose every time they go see them.
That's true.
I would be upset. Like, man, I spent this much money. My team lost when I most needed them in the playoffs. Kind of sucks. I know. Sorry, Ryan. We kind of disregarded your comment, but we did have a mention about Baker stepping down. Like, we got the notification, and we did bring it up. So, the Astros losing Baker, that's a huge loss for the Astros organization. And I know they have a huge couple contracts left, free agencies. I know Michael Brantley's hitting free agency, Martin Maldonado, and I think Ryan Stanek. So they got some moves they got to think about going forward because that bottom lineup was not performing, Carlos. I'm not sure what happened to Kyle Tucker. He went MIA. Chase McCormick wasn't there. Jeremy Pena, your future, they didn't show out. And it just felt like it was the top of the lineup that was doing most of the noise for the Astros. So you got to think about your future and see what you want to, if you really want to pay Jeremy Pena going forward a big contract.
And that's true, because then you have Justin Verlander as well. He's going into the next season. Is he going to be able to pitch next season, or is he going to call it quits already? You have Dusty Baker that's stepping down, and usually when you have a manager stepping down, your decision is kind of in the ways, because you're kind of like thinking, am I going to want to pitch my last year for another manager? What is this manager going to bring? What is this manager trying to prove? I'm the older guy. Am I going to be able to pitch? Am I going to be in the bullpen? So all these questions are being asked right now. It's
Ooh,
too soon, right? It's really
it really
soon.
is.
Yeah, it's too soon.
What
But
about
once,
prediction right now?
well,
AJ Hinch reunion. Is
oh
that too
man,
soon?
I don't know. I think it could happen. It could happen. And of course, Carlos Correa is going to be like, I want to go back to Houston. Please trade me to Houston. I don't know. It's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. That wound is too fresh for all
It's too fresh.
Astro fans right now. The most hated team in the nation. Number one, what is it? Number one enemy. So
Yes,
public enemy number one.
yes.
So
They really
we'll
are.
yeah, we'll see what happens with them. Anything else you want to add? We got like 4 or 5 minutes before we log off, and
Oh, well, I just want to say thank you everybody for tuning in. I know we kind of jumped a little late, but the postseason's been so great that we all had to be a part of it. We all wanted to watch it. But yeah, if you guys go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel, we would really appreciate it. We're approaching 500 subscribers and
yeah,
we're growing as a channel, man. So we're kind of happy for that. We're about to hit the 500. We're excited for that,
500.
Carlos.
Yeah, it is, dude. And if you know anybody that knows or loves baseball and you guys think this is a good show, go ahead and share it with your friends. Let them know. It's really fun once we get the interaction going. It's That's the way it's supposed to be. We have friends. I invited friends over. They came and it was everything. That's the way it needs to be, where we're communicating. You guys put in your questions. We'll put them up here and we'll talk about it. And of course, as we've done at other shows, if you're interested on joining the show with us, like let us know. It's going to be fun. Even if you think that you're scared of the camera or you don't have a mic, we'll make it work. Like honestly, like
Yeah, man.
none of us knew how to do this before we started getting on. If Javi, if you're on there, like right, you can answer. You can be one of the persons that say yes. Will, I know Will and myself started this back in 2020. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but we did it. Ernie, dude, we got him at the beginning of the season, and look, we finished the season pretty much already, Ernie, and you're here, dude. So
Yeah,
it just
man.
takes a little bit of
Crazy.
bravery to do it. It's 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 easier than not. A lot of people
Yeah,
think it's hard, right? And it's not.
right.
It's just
Because you do
it's
talk sports
conversation.
every day, right? Like
Yeah,
we talk
yeah,
sports every day, but now when you put a camera to it, it adds a different, like, oh, shoot, am I saying the right things? And now you question everything you say. But we really appreciate everybody that tunes in every week. And we really want you guys to be part of the show as well. So that's why we enjoy your comments and we like to read them in the middle of the show to make you feel like you're also part of one of us in Real Talk Baseball.
yeah. So Javi, you're out there, man. Thanks for joining in. Ryan, thanks for joining in. The Cheeks, thanks for joining in. Let me go
But
ahead and see if everybody's on here and I'll go through the list. Lalo, thanks for joining in. Chansey, thanks for joining in. Who else joined in? Salvador, thanks for joining in. And Heriberto, thanks for joining in. And if I miss your name, I'm sorry. I'm just going through the list. There was a lot of questions. I liked the interaction. It was so much fun. Ernie, thank you
yeah, for
for
sure.
jumping on. And you know what? We'll call it here, man. We'll go ahead and call it
Sounds
here.
good.
And
I
yeah.
think Friday will be a World Series game one. It's scheduled, so I'm not sure we're gonna jump in on Friday night because there is World Series going on. So we have
Yeah.
to watch baseball and maybe possibly Monday.
Yeah.
That would be a good day, right, Carlos?
For sure. We'll do it the Monday and we'll do the recap of the 2, 3 games that are going to happen during that week. And
Right.
we'll take your questions. But if you guys, want to, we post the show on our social media. So look for us in social media and follow us there. That's where we go ahead and put the schedule for our next podcast. But from everybody here at Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball, and this is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.